I mean, the band, Led Zeppelin, really kind of changed the looking at live performance. I mean, you're talking about, kind of a happening and a performance type of art. I mean, this is as big as the arenas would get, right? I mean, didn't Zeppelin really start the large arena shows?
The thing with Led Zeppelin is that right from the beginning of it, within a few months going into 1969, we can't supply the demand. Everywhere that we play is full. And we start doing repeat nights in places, and it's still full. So when we were doing outside events, it wasn't confined by the four walls, and you can see that it was just immense. The record was being played all over the United States, and it was via radio, because of course there wasn't cell phones, there wasn't the internet, it was the word by radio. That this band was just incredible. And as we moved across the United States, we, by say March, we were on the maybe even before that, February, March, we were on the East Coast and the West Coast, and people were just coming and just coming to see us. It was incredible because the reception was amazing.
And the very first two concerts, the first one being Atlanta, had like 53,000 people there, and the next one, Tampa, Florida, 57, and suddenly I thought, my goodness, what's going on? It's crazy. It's the way that people were really just, flocking to us with this great loyalty. And the sort of promoters of saying, oh, they'll never do it, nobody's going to turn up because they haven't put out any product. And it suddenly occurred to me that, we had a different sort of following to most people.
What I do know is that the promoter said it was so many people, and Peter Grant didn't believe it, because he knew what an audience looked like, because we played to, 50,000, 60,000 in America, and you could see what that looked like. And we took a photograph of it, and he counted all the heads, because it came out to more like 400,000 people, but the promoter didn't want to pay, you see. And I must say that wherever we went, from 1968 to 1980, there were always more people every time that we went to play. And it was incredible. But here comes the interesting thing, was that from that point onwards, we were never able to satisfy the demand of people that came to see us. We were doing multiple shows in cities, and we would still just sell out over all the years that we played. The thing about the music was that was it. That was the intoxicant of the whole thing. The reality of it was that if you were in a band like that, you just had that energy, to be honest with you, because it was just so exhilarating. You can imagine if you play at that intensity for both him, myself, or whatever, for 3 hours, and it's not just like a little tap of adrenaline, it's like the floodgates of adrenaline, and it was difficult to sleep after concerts, and it was on a roller coaster, on touring, which could almost be slightly mad, but you can understand with the intensity of that playing. But the truth of it was, as those tours got longer, it was difficult, and I know everyone's going to laugh, but it would get to the point where you didn't sleep for a night. And then during Madison Square Garden for the filming in 1973, I don't think I really slept for like whatever it was, 5 days or whatever. But it built up from way back in the early part of that tour, and I wasn't sort of losing sleep every night, but it just sort of built. It was just a sort of energy tap, was difficult to switch off. Purely for the fact that if you're playing for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 3.5 hours, you build up so much adrenaline from that when you come off stage, you couldn't possibly just go home and sort of go to bed. So you would go out and you go to sort of maybe clubs or whatever, just to sort of start stabilizing again. So really the intoxicant was the music.
Did you ever think, stop, I need to get off?
No, I must say that the pace of the tours was pretty frenetic, if you like. At the end of those tours, I took time out, if you like. So there was quite a balance. There's quite a yin-yang to it, because I couldn't really live at that pace, throughout a whole year, for example. So it was, there was pacing towards the tours, and then time to sort of reflect, if you like.